What's up everyone, it's Blue here at Blue Bears Games, and today's video will be my upgrade guide for the Universes Beyond Fallout Scrappy Survivors Commander precon. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to ask for your help in supporting my channel, which can be done in the following ways. Subscribing to the channel, sharing any of my content on your socials, watching some of my many other videos, purchasing super thanks, purchasing channel memberships, purchasing decks that you may have seen on this channel directly from me on the Blue Bears Games Facebook page, and/or visiting our sponsor at arcane-fortress.com and using discount code BlueBear at checkout if you decide to purchase any of their amazing gaming supplies from them. Anything that you do will help support my channel immensely, and I thank you for it. Now that that is out of the way, let's get to today's video. For my guides, I start by showing you the cards that I would recommend removing first, and then I show you the cards that I would add back in that I believe would help make the deck either more fun to play a little better, or best case scenario, both. I mentioned in the unboxing that I run a deck just like this with Yoral the Miststalker as the commander, and while my opinion is that Yoral is one of the better cards to helm a deck with the Voltron theme, that doesn't mean that you can't or shouldn't use Dogmeat for this. It's all a personal choice, so for this guide, I will be keeping Dogmeat as the commander, but a lot of the recommendations that I'm about to make will be indicative of how I believe a Voltron build should look anyway. So let's begin, and I'll start by showing you what I would recommend taking out first. I would remove the following: Temple of Abandon, Temple of Plenty, Temple of Triumph, Kate Cage Brawler, 3-Dog Galaxy News DJ, Megaton's Fate, Junk Jet, Sticky Fingers, Animal Friend, Idolized, Well Rested, Acquired Mutation, Strongback, Grim Reaper's Sprint, Mantle of the Ancients, Almost Perfect, Vault 21 House Gambit, and Vault 101 Birthday Party. So here's the thing. To make this deck function more smoothly and be able to add some more synergy, a choice had to be made between auras or equipments. While a lot of cards dealing with auras also deal with equipments, and vice versa, there are some that focus only on one or the other. For that reason, I chose to keep the equipment aspect of the build, and that's why I've recommended the removal of most of the auras. The reason that I decided to go with equipment over auras was for the resiliency that I mentioned in the unboxing. You see, when a creature that's enchanted dies, the auras go with it to the graveyard. Equipment, on the other hand, just simply fall off that creature but remain in play. Additionally, I also removed any card that specifically only dealt with auras because they wouldn't have much of an impact with far less auras now. The removal of the temples are because I just dislike them, and I believe there were too many lands in the deck out of the box, so they are always going to be the first choice that I give to remove. So, that's 18 cards in total that I would remove, but what cards do I believe would be better? Well, let me show you. I want to preface what I'm about to show you by saying that this strategy has a lot of cards that you could swap in. They range from budget-friendly to really not so budget-friendly. Since the aim of my channel is to be as budget-friendly as possible, not every card I'm about to show you will be 100% optimal, because I also take into consideration monetary costs. So with that in mind, let's begin. I'll start by showing you 7 creatures that will add some much needed synergy. The first creature is SRAM Senior Edificer. While junk tokens can act as a quasi-card draw type of mechanic, actual card draw will always be better, and SRAM helps that a lot. The second creature is Lion's Sash. Being both a creature and an equipment that also provides graveyard hate and also helps buff itself or a creature it's equipped to is pretty good on just one card, so it's a perfect fit here. The third creature is Kellen the Fey-Blooded. A tutor that's attached to a creature that buffs your other creatures? Yes, please. The fourth creature is Danitha New Benalia's Light. It's not often that equipment go to the graveyard, but it does happen. This Danitha will help get them back for you. Additionally, it's a decent creature with lots of good keywords, making it an excellent secondary secret commander in a pinch. The fifth creature is Armored Skyhunter. This creature provides a repeatable way to dig into your deck to find that card you just have to get to, and is always welcome in any commander deck. The sixth creature is Chishiro the Shattered Blade. I'm recommending this because it gives you a somewhat alternative way to win. It's still combat based, but instead of going tall, also known as Voltron, this will help you go wide. The other benefit to going wide is that it helps give you much needed blockers that you don't care if they die. On top of that, it also helps make your modified creatures bigger every turn, which is never a bad thing. The seventh and final creature that I'll recommend is Aster, Bearer of Blades. It only provides a one shot to dig for an equipment, but it gives a massive discount to your equip abilities, and I do mean massive. It even helps you get around colored mana equip costs. Next, I want to show you two sorceries that I believe will really help. The first sorcery is Open the Armory. It's a tutor for an aura or equipment card. Tutors are just great in any Magic format, so there's not much that needs to be explained here. The other sorcery is Divine Reckoning. Board wipes that allow you to leave behind your Voltron creature are common in this theme. There was only one such board wipe included in the box, and that's just not enough. Hell, two isn't enough, but at least adding a second will help. Quick side note, you may like Promise of Loyalty more. I chose Divine Reckoning because it has flashback, meaning you can use it a second time. But if people you play against use a lot of indestructible creatures, then Promise of Loyalty may be a better option. Now we get to the most important type of cards for this guide, the artifacts. More specifically, the equipment that will replace the auras that I recommended removing. There were 8 in total that I have pinpointed, and the first is Colossus Hammer. This is a pretty standard card that you will find in Voltron decks. Dogmeat doesn't have flying anyway, so losing flying isn't that big of a deal. One thing to note though, is that if a creature gains flying after this is already attached to it, it will be a flying creature thanks to how timestamps work in the game. The next 3 artifacts are Golem Skin Gauntlets, Thran Power Suit, and Nettle Cyst. The buffs that these give for the mana costs and equip costs are pretty good, which is why it's common to see them in budget and some not so budget Voltron builds. The 5th artifact is Loxodon Warhammer. While the buff is important, it's Trample that's the most important reason for this card. Trample helps provide a quasi-evasion to help get damage through. The lifelink is only a bonus, but a pretty good one. The 6th artifact is Caduceus Staff of Hermes. 30 or more life in Commander is pretty easy to achieve since you begin the match with 40. The lifelink it provides should help keep you above that number, but if it's not enough for some reason, the aforementioned Warhammer should help with that. However, it's the pretty sizable buff and indestructible that you're looking for here. Giving a Voltron Commander indestructible can make you quite a threat, so be prepared to be the archenemy when you do. The 7th artifact is Leyline Axe. This is one of the newer kids on the Voltron block. I've already told you about how Trample is a key ability for this theme, but Double Strike is also a must-have as well. Remember, it only takes 21 combat damage from the same commander to eliminate a player, so one hit of 11 power with Double Strike from a commander is lethal. The 8th and final artifact is Embercleave. While it's not as impressive in a Voltron Commander deck as it is in a combat-based modern deck, it still helps pack quite a punch thanks to the Double Strike and Trample abilities that it provides. The final thing that I'll go over for this guide is a combo that I liked for this deck. Since this is a combat-based deck, I would go with Preston Garvey Minuteman, which came in the box, combined with the last card that I'll recommend for this guide, Aggravated Assault. Together, these two cards can produce infinite combat phases, infinite untap of creatures you control, and infinite untap of enchanted permanents you control. If you don't see how this works, no worries. Click on the link that just popped up at the top of your screen, and it will take you to a very good explanation of how. So there you have it, folks, my upgrade guide for the Universes Beyond Fallout Scrappy Survivors Commander precon. While everything that I just showed you won't make this precon a top tier deck, it will help focus the deck to make it play a little better. For all 18 upgrades, it will cost you just under $43, which isn't bad when you consider what you could spend for this theme. You see, to really optimize an equipment-based Voltron deck, usually you would use the various swords of X and Y, but most of them are about $30 each or even more. Would it be worth doing for this precon? In my opinion, no. I'd rather save them for a better Voltron commander like Ural, but that's just me. If you're a Fallout fan, and in particular a fan of Dogmeat, then by all means, go for it. So, what do you think? I'd love to hear what you think of the changes that I just recommended in the comments section. Well, my friends, that's all I've got for you this week. Thanks for watching, and if you're looking for more Magic content to watch, please browse my playlist, as I'm sure you'll find more of my videos that you'll enjoy. Before you go, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, so you can be notified when I release new content, which is usually every Friday. Have a great day, and I will see you all next week.